job against this man. He's facing out of control. And they'll be out right now.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Please. You can kill it.
Nobody trusts anybody now.
Come on, you hate. You want to live forever?
I got a really bad feeling about this. Godzilla will live.
And welcome back to another episode of the Monster Movie Stompdown. Of course, you got your host, Sludge, here. Co-host across from me.
It's the Lorax.
And the Grandmaster from Texas.
You got Ruben.
So last week, we celebrated big time for the Lorax's birthday. We did his birthday episode with Kolchak the Night Stalker. Great movie we obviously love.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully you guys have picked it up. But hopefully you all saw that we actually had some birthday surprises for the Lorax that day as well. And want to find out what you thought about it. So... Lorax, how'd your birthday go?
Hey, it went great. It went great. As you know, Norm, when you get as old as I am at 30, you tend to work on your birthdays. You don't have big parties and that kind of stuff. So I was at work, and little do I know, I'm outside and I get called in. Said you got an emergency inside. Need you to get in here. And so I came inside, and was right in front of my front counter, and all I seen is Sludge coming around the corner with his cannon that he shoots confetti all over, man. It was just great, man. It was a really good day.
So you got a bag of gifts as well. What'd you think of the gifts?
Oh, the gifts are great. I haven't drank my Miller Lite yet, and but the shirt, oh no, haven't done it yet. The shirt was just fantastic, and the boom boom sauce. Oh yeah, I tried it.
I was about to ask you to try it.
The boom boom sauce, really good, really good.
So Mark loves shrimp sauce, as most of us do.
Yeah.
You love shrimp sauce, and I'm all about, especially with the economy today, the way it is, buying as cheap as possible. So I've found Walmart's Great Value brand has their own version of shrimp sauce, and it's called Boom Boom Sauce. And I'm telling you, listeners, it's better than the name brand. Like Terry Hose? Is that the name of the brand? Right?
Yeah, the yum yum sauce. Yeah,
yum yum sauce. Yeah. So it's better than that. I promise you, it's better than Terry Hose. But I kept telling Mark about it, and I was like, dude, you've got to try this, and he hadn't yet. So I bought him a bottle of Boom Boom sauce. Yes. The Lorax has now tried the Boom Boom sauce.
Oh yeah, very good.
Better than Terry's,
very good.
Isn't it?
It's close. It's close.
Oh no, it's
close.
Oh, there you
totally
go.
better.
There you
It's
go.
close.
Yeah.
Ruben, do you like shrimp sauce?
Never tried it.
Oh.
Never tried it.
Never tried it.
Dude,
At least
go
not
ahead,
the-
you go-
and I'm on the coast, so I don't know about this shrimp sauce stuff that y'all are talking about. We don't have none of that down here.
Oh, man.
If you go in your local grocery store, you can get yum yum sauce. Okay, and you go where any
Japanese restaurant, Chinese restaurant, you have a
anything like
hibachi
that,
grill.
that section of the grocery store. But then
Okay.
Walmart has the Boom Boom sauce. I don't know if they have yum yum sauce.
Well, that's what it is.
Is it in? Is it
So
in
you got
the?
the
What do they call it? What do they have that section called? We even have it here at our
It's
local
in the
HEB.
cultural appropriation section.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
what it is.
They have a real nice name for it, but it's basically the cultural appropriation. Well, we have an Asian. I mean, I'm sure you guys do. We have an Asian market here in town.
We do.
So
we've
I'm
got
sure
we've
they
got
have
an
it there.
Asian market close.
Yeah.
We've got the Asian market, the Mexican places as well. But Walmart's little aisle of the cultural appropriation where you've got like the Asian sauces, the Mexican spices, and things
it's just
like that.
it's really good, really good. You have to get down there and try it.
So
what is it? Is it shrimp flavored?
Not
is it
at
for
all.
shrimp?
I don't even
What
understand
is
why
it?
they call it shrimp sauce. It's like a sweet sauce. So, I mean, if you go to a Japanese steakhouse and you get like hibachi grill stuff, and they give you that little cup of like a pinkish
Red,
sauce,
yeah.
it's sweet. You know what I'm talking about?
That's exactly what it is. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's shrimp sauce. I don't know why they call it shrimp sauce because it doesn't have shrimp in it because my wife is allergic to shrimp and she eats shrimp sauce all the time. When we go out, she can,
Yeah.
It's just delicious.
That's funny that it would be called that. When you kept talking about that in our conversations, I'm like, shrimp sauce and boom boom and yum yum. I don't know nothing about that.
It's just because it's yum yum and it's boom
it's
boom.
good.
Like it's
It's
good stuff. So But anyways, yeah, so got him that, and that was pretty cool. We want to make it a special day for it, and thought it was pretty awesome. And I've actually heard back from a few listeners about the episode, and they had a blast, loved it. Said, we thank everybody that said happy birthday to the Lorax on their social pages, and in talking about the episode with one of our listeners, we talked about the X-Files episode and a couple other things. We were discussing, he was telling me, Josh Morin from Connecticut, how much he just loves the show and laughs at our banter and things like that. And we were talking about the nicknames, right? And I won't discuss exactly what we were talking about when it comes to Ruben, your nickname, when we switched it from Master of Texas to Grandmaster of Texas. There was some hilarious jokes that were said, but we'll keep that between me and Josh. I
got a feeling I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, he was. Well, I'll just say, when Josh first heard it, he was like, we were laughing on the show or whatever. We're like, yes, it's perfect. And Josh was listening, going, no, it's not. But he was thinking of something else, and it's like, no, that's totally not what it's related to. But we were talking, and just in talking back and forth, we were joking about the nickname going to Grandmaster. And we have devised a quite hilarious plan for you, Ruben.
Sorry, Ruben. Sorry, man.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, I have nothing to do with it. Okay, so I know nothing.
And I believe you. I believe you.
Mark was sitting there on the call. He was right there with us.
He wasn't in on no call. No.
But so there might be there's something coming in the works for Ruben that I think will be quite hilarious and enjoyable.
That's the way it works, Mark. When you get the upper hand on somebody and just
I agree.
Defeat their
the
favorite
upper
monster
hand
over and over. It's back to your joke. I've got hand. That's a Seinfeld joke. That's a Seinfeld joke. But
I mean, obviously, we brought the Friday night fights back. And it's been a while because of this thing's going on, and we've changed direction. So now we're not doing the monster versus monster bouts. We're doing the movie versus movie bouts for these monster movies. And you all saw, and a lot of you voted for the three-way battle we had between Kong 76, Godzilla 84, and Gamera Guardian of the Universe. And honestly, I was waiting. Like, that was going to be one of the big ones I was saving for down the line. Like, I wasn't planning on doing that one for months because we've got, I don't know, the next 50 or 60 of them, prepped and ready.
That's why he hasn't slept any.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I haven't slept. Exactly. You guys, I don't sleep for you. Because I love you all. And but so during our, of course, you guys know that we've got our own Monster Movie Stompdown chat between the three of us. And Ruben, man, he saw the poster and has gone nonstop about this whole Kong and Gamera thing. It's like he won't let it go. There's conspiracy brewing.
I will not.
And because of the chat between us, I was like, screw it. I'm just releasing it. Like, I'm just doing it. And y'all surprised us. Like, I knew going in that this was going to cause. I even commented something about, like, just wait for it. We're waiting for Ruben.
That's why we do it. Yeah, that's why we do it.
Yeah. I mean, the fun about it is what it is why we do it. And it got quite hysterical. And I knew going in, honestly, because we've talked about it. I mean, 85, even though technically it was 84 we were doing on the Friday Night Fight
poster,
is my favorite Godzilla film. But I knew going in that that's not what was going to get my vote. We're talking about what the best movie is. And so I knew Gamera was. So I knew that was going to spark. So I was trying my best to hold off commenting as long as possible because I didn't want to feed the conspiracy of the Grandmaster when it comes to it. And then, man, out of left field, I was totally surprised. Our Terrapin friend took the victory. Like, he stomped Godzilla and Kong. And that just, I think, made the conspiracy
by
worse.
how many votes?
He led by, Godzilla had 0.
Which shocks me because truthfully, if it was, I was like, somebody's got to pick. He picked Godzilla, his favorite Godzilla film, and he picked Gamera anyway. To me, that sounds over it. I thought Godzilla.
That's
sure.
probably the reason Godzilla really couldn't do much because he had this dagger in his back.
That is not, not at all.
It was just,
no.
I really thought that Godzilla was going to win. Sludge was going to pay off some people to vote for Gamera and for Kong, but Instagram had a Kong vote as well as mine.
Did have a Kong. Yeah, Instagram did have one Kong. And that was the thing that was hard for me was like, that the final tally was, Gamera came out 3.
Yeah.
on the votes. Kong got 2, one from Facebook, one from Instagram. Facebook, of course, being Ruben, and Godzilla got 0. But the thing that was difficult for me, and I knew it was going to be hard, is Godzilla 84, the 84, 85, and that's my favorite film. But I had, unlike Ruben, I had to put my biases aside and just really go with quality.
I did put Godzilla's number 1. I put my biases aside too, mostly just to get at Sludge. It was a vindictive, spiteful vote.
See, no biases, but yet vindictive, spiteful vote for sure. You know, but I think that went well. That one was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah, we can't wait to throw more of those at you guys, and we've got some good ones coming up for it. So I'm glad you guys are back.
Well, I was working and didn't get the vote in, and but on our.
I don't remember. Who did you vote for?
Godzilla is king, man. Period.
Yeah, he said
Godzilla is king.
He said Godzilla is king. So
he did.
I assumed he did.
And I don't waver on that. Turtle or monkey, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Godzilla,
so then I got to
Godzilla
ask.
is king.
Then I got to ask. You know, Godzilla's king. What? So let me ask you on the fly here.
On the fly,
you pick the better film, Godzilla '98 or Gamera 3.
Gamera 3.
Godzilla's king.
Godzilla's king, but that's not Godzilla.
Okay.
Godzilla.
Okay.
There you go, Mark. You got it.
Okay, let me read.
Take that back.
Godzilla's Revenge or Gamera 3.
Godzilla's Revenge.
You are so full of bull crap.
I am not.
That is the biggest load of
that's
crap
loyalty right there.
I have ever seen.
That's
you
loyalty.
got that. I stand behind mine.
That is loyalty to ridiculous fault.
I will not give on the king. No.
You will take the fat silver little retard over Gamera 3.
No, he's taking Godzilla.
Because
he's taking Godzilla. It has nothing to do with the fat retard.
Ultimately, movie to movie. I can't.
Godzilla,
we got to move on.
I will help you with that dagger.
Like we can't talk about this anymore. So anyway, so thank you guys. Yeah, Friday Night Fights are back. Y'all keep up with that. Spread the word, man. Share us out on all the socials so that you guys can join.
See what
us.
happens, everybody. See what happens. It's as soon as somebody goes against Sludge, he gets all upset and then he wants to cut away from it, right?
Exactly.
Right,
he
Mark?
gets his little piece. He gets his little piece in,
hey,
and then this is done. This is
well,
over.
I guess that's apart from it being me and in charge is why if there's a role. I'm the boss.
Well, why don't you turn it around? Would you rather watch the Gamera swinging in that?
Gamera versus Giron. Oh my God! The word's going up.
Or G98. Will you take that?
So we're talking movie to movie, right? I'm going
G98,
Gamera versus Giron over G98.
You see,
I wish we
there
could
you
take
go.
the camera. I wish we could take the camera and zoom it around the room, and I see Godzilla. I see Kong. I see Where's Gamera at in here?
Man, even me.
Oh,
even I have Gamera.
Okay, all right. Okay. What are we talking about? We got right here. Okay,
yeah, you brought
right
that
here, so
in.
y'all see, boom, and that's a perfect segue into this episode's hard copy.
Now copy this.
This episode's hard copy, man. So since we're working our way through the Gamera Show Us series, I thought it was pretty cool to bring down for the episode the Blu-ray Mill Creek release that they did, where they brought the entire series, the Show Us series, out on 2 Blu-rays. So the Volume 1, of course, has got the first 4 films with Gamera, Gamera vs. Barugan, Gamera vs. Gyaos, and Gamera vs. V-Ross. And Volume 2 has got Gamera vs. Giron, Jiger, Zigra, and then Super Monster, which was a waste. Whatever. We'll get there at some point. But it was pretty cool, man. Like there's no special features on these things at all. I mean, you could pick these up at Best Buy. I don't even remember what I got these for. Maybe $10 a piece. I think they got as low as $5 at some point.
Does Best Buy even sell videos anymore?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I think it's all gone.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, so I got them when they came out. But what surprised me about these was how well they did with the transfers. The transfers on these are top notch, like super, super great quality. Ruben, you were talking about the 1080 transfer that you watched on the Plex. So you watched the Japanese version, right?
I did. I did. I started. I was gonna watch the dubbed, and then it was 480p, so I knew it was gonna be cropped and all that. So I said, no, I'll just watch the Japanese version.
Yeah. So that was the Sandy Frank dub, which Mark watched, and I'm glad the Lorax caught that one. So, but so like that rip is from these Blu-rays, and so they did a fantastic job at the quality of them. And the boxes are cool, man. Like the old school Gamera artwork, just the pictures. It's a cool little set, man. And you can pick these things up for $5-10 a piece, and for $20 or less, having the entire Showa collection on Blu-ray, kind of hard to go wrong. But I mean, Gamera hasn't seen the love when it comes to. I don't know. That's not true. He may actually have seen more love in recent years. Yes, he has.
Not compared to the other monsters. You have to admit, he's just now getting, or is Gamera a guy or female or male? I guess
a guy. We've always we assume that.
Okay.
We're not trying to be sexist.
Gamera up until recently really hasn't got the credit it deserves.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the 80s and 90s, you had, Godzilla and all the other ones. And so I think it was like either the early 2000s, you started seeing like the Legacy box set that came on DVD. I don't even remember who put that out.
And I do think the Godzilla High C, that's what got everything started. I think people got interested in what Japan had out there, and then Gamera just happened to be out there. So I think that now, thanks to Godzilla, the Godzilla. I always say it wrong. I don't know if it's high C. I always say high C.
Heisei.
Is that correct? Heisei. I
It's
think
a great
that opened up it is a great. I love high C. It opened up a lot of doors, and unfortunately, you know what opened up those doors. I've said it 1,000 times.
The film we don't speak of, but yet we continuously speak of on this show somehow.
Somehow. But again, if it wasn't for that overhyped piece of garbage, it'd probably be a lot longer until we saw these films.
Unfortunately, that's true. I agree with you. And so it wasn't until after that film you started seeing, because you could always pick up, you'd find those monster box sets, of monster movies. You'd always find like at least one of the Showa Gamera films on there. Whether it's Barugan or Gyaos or Viros sometimes. Guron. Never really could find Jiger or Zigra. But there was no mass distribution yet until here more recently, when you got the Legacy box set that came out here in America. That had all the films. But this was the first Blu-ray collection that you can get, and so it was really cool to see that, to put all of them together. Because I mean, for the longest time, especially here in the last 20, 30 years, you couldn't find or watch Zigra or Jiger. Exactly. You might get lucky and find Gyaos or Viros or Barugan and things like that. Gamera Super Monsters pretty much was unheard of until the Legacy DVD set came out and these Blu-rays came out. Like, nobody saw stateside that movie, really. I mean, it's almost got no release, except for back in the day, and that's why I'm glad the Lorax picked up or watched the Sandy Frank version, is they bought the rights to the films and did a VHS collection of a lot of the latter of the Showa era back in the late 80s, early 90s. So I'm glad you picked that up. So, but yeah, that's the hard copy for this episode. It's really cool. I mean, if you want to catch all the Showa Gamera films in very, very great quality, like the transfers are phenomenal. I was really blown away by it on these Blu-rays. You can pick it up on eBay, man. Less than $20 for both of them, and it's a great little thing to add to your monster movie collection. So that is this month's hard copy. And now we're going to move on to the movie we're doing, and it's Gamera vs. Gyaos, the third film from the Gamera series, which introduces, his Ghidorah, his arch nemesis, is coming around in this film, and this one takes an interesting turn for the Gamera films. So we will discuss that right after you see the trailer.
っきからあの怪獣をギャオスって呼んでるけどなぜだい？
僕が名前をつけたんだ。だって鳴き声がギャオって聞こえるもん。まあ、Hったら。
あのギャオスの超音波は鉄でも石でもまるで紙のように切り裂いてしまう。あのガメラでもかなわないでしょう。
嘘だ嘘だ。ガメラは世界中で一番強いんだ。
Okay, so Gamera vs. Gyaos. This movie came out in 1967, March 15th, I believe, was what it was. And Gamera vs. Bruggen still, we talked, did pretty well, but not as well as they wanted it to. And we discussed Noriaki Yuasa, who had directed the original Gamera film, and they kind of backburned him to special effects director for Gamera vs. Bruggen. They wanted to make sure the Gamera was more profitable and took a little change in direction with this film. They did bring Noriaki back in the director's chair. Actually, had to pull double duty. Noriaki had to actually was the film director itself, but then he was also the director of special effects for this movie. So he was pulling double duty on this one. And then, of course, it's got Kojiro Hanga, who was our main character, and got Gamera vs. Bruggen comes back and plays a different character in this one. He kind of is the foreman of this construction company that's building these freeways through this village and things we'll get into in a second. But they had to take a turn on this one because they wanted to be more popular. And this is getting into a time, we're creeping up into a time in 67 where things were changing for movies in Japan. The late 60s and majorly the 70s, pretty much all of the 70s. And it didn't just affect Gamera, it affected Godzilla big time. Television. When you have shows coming out like Ultra Q and then Ultraman, and which spawned so many series. I mean, Jumborg Ace, Mirror Man, Zone Fighter. I mean, it's like every month a new show is coming out because you could put monsters on TV and it was completely free and you could watch it from home, and it drastically impacted the movie industry for these. And that's why things got sillier. Even with Godzilla, it got sillier. And we'll find out soon with Gamera, it got really silly over the next couple films. But they knew it was a direction to take. And one of the directions that they had to pay attention to is the kids. There's a lot of kids coming to see these movies, and I'm going to kind of say, Godzilla ran that direction too, but Noriaki kind of saw it ahead of time. Like, he saw this coming almost. Like he could see what was happening on TV. He could see what was happening with a change of direction with kids. So he wanted to take the Gamera films that way. He was very adamant about it. And he was so adamant about it that the kid in this movie, Naoki Abe, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, they actually thought this was his son. And it wasn't his son. It was just, an actor that he hired. But, he was so adamant about the kid role in these films and going in that direction that they even thought the kid that starred in this movie was his actual son when he wasn't. But they wanted to try, and they really, really kind of thought hard on this film because you just had Toho release Frankenstein Conquers the World and The War of Gargantuas, which was a big inspiration for this film. They wanted to actually do a Gamera versus Dracula movie. And, of course, that went from Gamera vs. Dracula to Gamera vs. Vampire to ultimately Gamera vs. Gyaos. Why Dracula? How does that relate to Gyaos? Well, Gyaos drinks blood and eats humans. So that's your vampire monster. So that's where it came from, and they wanted to make it more kid-friendly, even though they're super bloody films. Excuse me. So that was the direction they were going. And so the kid in this film, Naoyuki, what's the kid's name? Ichi? In the film, he's pretty much leads the show. He's top billed actor almost in this movie, and is the main focus of everything. So what's going on here with this one? Of course, they have the direction. They do have some social messaging in this film with the times that was going on in Japan economically. They were really big in regards to infrastructure. So they were like, let's build highways everywhere, going everywhere. And so that message does get employed in this film, as this this company is building these highways through this village and by this mountain that actually a volcano erupts, and there was fears at the time of Mount Fuji erupting, and out pops Gyaos. The volcano awakens him, and they're like, oh, see, it's because of these people that Gyaos is awake and killing everybody and blah blah blah. That was the social message behind it. But it's Ichi, and that leads the mark. And this film kind of foreshadows what we end up seeing, not so much in the other films, but what happens in this movie kind of foreshadows what we see in the Heisei when it comes to the human and Gamera interaction. Because it's almost like Ichi and Gamera, there's a scene after the first battle with Gyaos, and Gyaos has the supersonic beam that cuts Gamera's arm deeply. And Ichi starts screaming out of his window, Gamera, get well soon, we need you, whatever. And then it goes to Gamera in the ocean healing. And it's almost like Gamera can hear him. So it almost foreshadows that bond between Asagi and Gamera in the Heisei trilogy, the remake that comes to be. But so, that's really what goes on, is you got this big vampire bat who is, his Ghidorah, because Gyaos appears multiple times in the Showa series. Of course, he's the main bad guy in Gamera Guardian Universe and makes an appearance again in Gamera 3. He's his Ghidra. And they have a couple fights in the movie, and the first fight that happens in the city ends in the ocean. Gamera's got a hold of Gyaos by the foot, and as the sun appears, Gyaos is freaking out and has a glowing light in his head that starts going off because the sun's going to kill him. He's a vampire, and we come to find out that the sun causes him to shrink. He bites off his toes. The scientists find his toes, and as they it's sending the sun to just start shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And so they devise a plan to stop Gyaos. They build this big thing full of blood for him to come eat, and they're going to try and inoculate him and get for him to be out in the sun, and it doesn't work. And Gamera's got to end up finishing the job, and does a great job doing that. I actually think the fight scenes in this are some of the best of the Showa series between the two. So that's really what it is. As far as this movie, it did very well at the box office. $60 million budget, did $97 million at the box office, became a fan favorite, and that's why we see Gyaos return later on. But this was the third, but it is the definite change in direction for these movies because they get very childish from here on out. Very childish from here on out. So let's go for it. Lorax, what did you think of Gamera vs. Gyaos?
Well, yeah, it's changing. Yeah, it's really changing. Disappointed, and I'm always disappointed in monster movies where the child is basically runs the whole movie. He's got the government there, and the governments are like, listening to everything he says, and well, this is the way we got to do it, and this is the way we got to go.
This is Ichi here. He's the one who rode on Gamera's back. Gamera's a good friend of his, huh? He's a real expert on monsters now.
You're joking. Yes, I am.
That's not real world. I mean, that's not
right.
I mean, they're going to say, "Get that kid out of here," and so I was kind of disappointed with that. The fight scenes, loved it. I mean, did really good. There was some definite. How do I say it? Times where I thought, that. Gamera's got to do more. Or, in this case, the dubbed film that I was watching, it was Gamera.
Yeah.
I got so tired of Gamera.
They'll fix that later, trust me.
So, I mean, but overall, I think the movie was okay. They were headed in the wrong direction as far as the movie went, and the actors and the storyline. The storyline, I just don't approve of in the monster movies. I just think that they did wrong.
I feel so bad because, I know the direction we're heading, and we're already Lorax is already I didn't like this direction. I'm like, ooh, man, you're gonna hate the next 5 films.
Well, and you're right. I gave it a 2.5. I'm let's do this because it's probably going to go down.
Oh, there's no doubt
from this point on.
Spoiler alert: there will be some thumbs down from even Sludge when it comes to some of these future films.
I like the monster Gamera. I like him, but I just needed more. Just needed a little bit more. And they always throw the two comedian characters in there,
right? Like the security guards, night guard dudes. Yeah.
And I did kind of like them. Laughed at them. They were pretty amusing.
It's scary. Hachi, you can go back home if you're scared. And you can too. Your hands are shaking around there like a leaf in the wind. You fool! I just happen to be cold, that's all. You could have fooled me. Ah, it's coming! It's coming! It's coming!
Take it easy.
Overall, disappointed with the movie. Just don't like which way it's headed.
Oh, man. Disappointment at the shining point of the show era is not good for films, we will say. Ruben, what about you? Is this a disappointment to you? Or what do you think about the film?
I'm not going to say I don't think I was disappointed, but I wasn't enthused either. So that's why I went middle of the road. I was a little bit more generous than Mark was. Because to me, it gave me kind of a nostalgic feel. It had a very nostalgic feel to me. I mean, watching it made me remember what I liked about these Japanese kaiju films. Yeah, it was silly, like the car getting cut in half.
Hurry, now! Hey! Stop! Hurry, come on! Let's get out of here! There, get a picture. Yeah. Quick.
By the
numerous
beam,
kids.
and it's still
the helicopter scientists.
Yeah, and the helicopter. I almost because it was one of those for people who haven't seen it. This is the helicopter with two propellers, one on the front, one in the back, and Gyaos cuts it right in half. I almost expected that helicopter, each one, to keep flying. That's how silly this movie is. Okay, and then when they cut the car in half, and the car keeps driving, they keep driving the car. Yeah, the engine block's cut in half, but we're still driving. And
they just put the passenger back in the car.
They just got back in and they just kept on going. Or you have a room like Mark alluded to. You have a room full of scientists that didn't notice anything, but this little kid noticed everything about Gyaos and what he was doing and how he was acting. And he said something about, well, he only flies in one direction. And they're like, you know what? That's correct. I'm like, you're a room full of scientists. You didn't notice that? And
budget would only allow for him to fly in one direction.
So I wouldn't call it silly. I would call it fun. This was a fun movie. And I don't know about I watched the Japanese dub version, but I'm pretty sure they got the dub wrong because in one of the scenes, I think it's one of the military leaders. They're talking about how to defeat him, and another guy's like, "We should just give up or something." The guy goes, "Don't be a wuss." I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not what he said. he probably said, "Don't be a coward," but somehow in the subtitles it says, "Don't be a wuss."
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, and that wasn't a 1080, Mill Creek version, I assume. So. The movie was fun, and it had a lot of, it was a typical kaiju film, but I noticed that this, like the previous film, puts a lot of more emphasis on the humans fighting Gyaos than it did. It was a little bit better on this one than the last one, but it seems like it was more about the human aspect and how they were going to defeat Gyaos versus, where's Gamera just to come kick his butt? That's what I was waiting on. And it is a bloody film if you consider green or purple to be bloody, but I think that color of blood is what softens it up for the kids, because this is a kids movie. That's just come out.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's one point, man, like when Gamera bites into Gyaos' neck, and the blood just flows.
Yeah, there's just
it's like holy cow.
And I'm like, man, and so, but I do think both of y'all alluded to it. It was a change in direction for the kaiju films in Japan, and they were going for the kids audience. And to your point, and to Mark's point, mine too, it's a kid's fantasy. Think about it. When you were a kid, of being the leader to defeat the monster, and people are listening to you. So I'm like, what they did is pretty pretty cool because if it's geared toward kids, they're making the kid the leader and the one that knows more about this monster than the adults. I'm sure the kids ate that up in the theater.
Oh yeah,
and all that. Yeah, I'm sure
definitely.
the kids because I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, we all wanted to be that. We fantasized about I'm going to go up against this monster and I'm going to defeat it with karate or whatever. And so it kind of took me back to that. So I was a little more, I was a little easier on it because the fight scenes are great. The transfer was great. It was almost. I mean, I think that's what the half stomp there meant for me. It was just the transfer was awesome, and you could see the photography of the film was great. I like the background. I don't know why they were building a freeway right by a volcano, but that's another deal.
Yeah, that was not the best.
Like why are you building a freeway right next to a volcano? And what was kind of distracting too, that kind of took it away, is they concentrated so much on those villagers trying to get more money out of their land and all this other stuff. But I guess that was I think Sludge just mentioned it a while. I guess at that time in Japan there was a lot of growth going on. So I guess there was a lot of eminent domain kind of stuff going on, and maybe that's they threw that into the film. But all in all, I mean, it was a fun film. I mean, if you ask me, so far what we watched, this one is the better film of all the ones, of the one I didn't see and then the one I did see. This one is really good. Yeah. So, and that's basically it. I mean, I would say this is. I've said it about Godzilla versus Megalon. This is a good film to. Like, if you wanted to get your kids into Gamera, I would start with this one.
Man, I would think even that's great. Godzilla vs. Megalon. Like, I think I would put this on par with Godzilla vs. Megalon. Like, this is that film for Gamera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that change.
That's exactly it.
That's a good example there, Ruben.
That's yeah. Go ahead.
I would say that for me, that's. I think I probably looked. Well, before I do that, is there anything else you want to add for that one before I jump in on this?
No. I just wanted to kind of convey that it is a kid's film, and but a kid would love this film. A kid would. If you're an adult, you can enjoy it too. Just if you know what you're getting into, if that makes any sense. If you know you're going in to see, like if you're going in to see, The Rescuers, I don't know. That came to mind because I just remembered about, you're going to go see a kid's movie, so you shouldn't gig it for that as much as you should. So that's it. That's all I got to say.
Man, he was pretty defensive for Gamera there.
He was. I think.
I
mean,
it's kind of shocking after.
I am a fair man. I try to be fair. Okay. I'm giving Gamera his due. Now, if Kong is still better than Gamera. We all know that, but I'm fair.
So my turn to review this movie after we. With this one, man, and Ruben, I think you nailed it with the Godzilla vs. Megalon comparison, because I think that's really stellar comparison to this one. Is my introduction to the Gamera films was the Sandy Dub Gamera versus Zigra, and that is going to be one of the bottom barrel films that we're going to review here. But I remember enjoying that movie as a child. This giant fire-breathing turtle facing this alien shark. There is some absolutely ridiculous stuff that happens in that movie that is just, what were they thinking type deal. But, I mean, so for going from there, then kind of jumping back to Gamera vs. Gyaos, it was a huge leap for me. Like, to me, it is such a better movie. But even watching it as an adult, as I go back, there is a lot of nostalgia that comes with this movie. But for me, I think when you've got, especially coming up in this era where the monster movies are becoming more hero. I mean, Godzilla had already started hitting the hero stride prior to this film, in 65. Well, I'm technically 64, I guess, with Ghidorah, but definitely 65 with Monster Zero. And it just kind of moved further in that direction. This one definitely did that. And putting him in the hero moniker, to me, like, when I watched this movie, man, like, I really am kind of just going through the human scenes, which I don't think are bad, going, all right, I'm ready for the next scene, because every scene with Gamera and Gyaos, or individually or together in this movie, I think is absolutely top-notch for the Showa series. I love it. I love Gyaos as a bad guy, even before I saw these way before the Heisei series, and so there's that, that first time you see him when Ichi's taking that reporter guy out to the woods or whatever, and they find the glowing cave, which is actually Gyaos, and then like he freaks out because it starts shaking, and when he runs out, and he's like, "I'll grab that tree." He's like, "I totally left the kid to die, but it's okay. I saved my own butt." And then he starts getting picked up, and Gyaos eats him. I was like, "Holy crap, this is awesome!" Because right or wrong, I have always said, if a great monster movie has to go through, to push limits. And at the time, I still have never, seen this, especially at the time, where you saw a giant monster in a movie like a Gamera film series, or not till the Heisei ones, but or Godzilla, where the monsters are eating people. You know what I mean? Like you saw that, we'd see that, in Harryhausen stuff, or 1 million BC, but you'd see the dinosaurs bite them. You wouldn't see them eat them. You know what I mean? Like. And so to me, I was just like, this is fantastic, and it put Gyaos on just like, Gamera versus Barugan was a good movie, was a really good movie tone-wise and story-wise. But I just, to me, Barugan was too silly with the rainbow thing, especially. Not that I didn't dislike him, but there was this silliness to the character. But with Gyaos, I thought it was a darker monster. This was a much more lethal threat to Gamera, as we see. I mean, he freaking, he shoots him in his arm, and like half his arm is just hanging by you're like, dude, there's no bone. Like he cut through bone. There's blood pouring everywhere. So I was just like, that's awesome. It really stepped the ante up of a more, again, like a Ghidra. This is a much more dangerous threat to Gamera. So the fight scenes with Gamera and Gyaos just are, I think in this one especially, we'll see as we go throughout the rest of the films, definitely some of the most brutal, like for sure.
Yeah.
And
the saving grace of the movie.
Definitely the saving grace. Am I opposed to the direction of the movie? Not so much when it goes to the kids things, because I get it, and especially growing up watching shows like Ultra 7. Well, actually, that wasn't even really geared towards kids at all. But when it was brought over here, that was the morning kids show, that I would watch, and some of those heroes is definitely more kids going, and I am going to start knocking the rest of these films for that heavily as we go on. But for this one, I think they kind of just really went into it and didn't get too heavy. And I'm sure, Lorax, you're like, how is this not too heavy? Trust me, this is not too heavy compared to the rest of them. But I didn't mind it. You know what I mean? This is a lower budget film. This is a little goofier, than the Godzilla films, sans, Godzilla's Revenge. So if I can deal with Godzilla's Revenge, I could definitely love this movie, in comparison. So I think it was fun. The direction it was going was good, but I think it just really hit its mark with Gyaos. And obviously that, we're going to see him pop up in Gamera vs. Giron, or another version of the Space Gyaos, technically. And then, of course, he's been the main protagonist in the Heisei series, even if he's in the background, like it is in Gamera 3. Brought up a lot in Gamera 2. So I think that was where this one knocked it out of the park, was Gyaos. Like, he was one of the better monsters I'd seen from the Showa era across the board. Like Godzilla, Gamera, Yongary. Across the board, you've got some stellar bad guys, and Ghidra is like one of the stellar bad guys. Mechagodzilla is one of the stellar bad guys. When it comes to Gamera, Gyaos was the stellar bad guy. He's the only one that really is like, dude, I will straight jack you up. And he does straight jack Gamera up a bit in this one, But it's pretty cool and brutal. So to me, I really enjoyed the movie, man. I think this was great. I definitely gave it the higher rating of the three of us, just for nostalgia reason, and just Gyaos. Like, the Gamera and Gyaos stuff to me just stuck out like crazy in this movie. So let's jump to it, man. It's Stompdown rating time. All right, so this one, we all kind of differed by half a point on this. This got a total collective solid 3 from the Stompdown crew. Mark, you gave it the lowest of 2.5. Ruben gave it a 3, and I gave it a 3.5. And so, and I think it showed when we were telling you guys why we liked or disliked about the movie, where the points of view are. So I think it was as a solid rating. I think one of the better ratings we've done as a whole. Because you can see the progression of how each person liked it in their perspective. But I think this is good. If you're watching the Showa Gamera films, the first 3, I think, are the 3 you need to absolutely watch. This one especially, because it's the main antagonist. I mean, it's Gyaos, and but overall 3, I think it's worth the watch. To me, it's worth multiple watches. I'm not, Mark, Lorex, what do you think as far as a reviewing? I mean, is this thing worthy of a review?
I think you can rewatch it. You can and I wouldn't deter and say don't watch this movie. It's that bad. It's not that bad. But one of the things I was listening to both of you guys and about children and bringing hey, I can be good, man. Hang on. Is that
Ruben's nervous?
Yeah, is that back when it came out, those kids that are saying exactly what you said, Ruben, hey, they're leading, they're going against, and this main character is that. Now, and I don't know the stats from the Skull Island and all the new Godzilla films, but how many of those little kids back then are the main people watching the new Skull Island?
Right, yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't think
well,
Toho,
I'm one of them.
I don't think Toho was. I don't think that maybe was their plan. Hey, we'll do this, and then in the future it's going to come back around. But I think they did it. They did it. Yeah. We're sitting here, we're talking about this. They did it, and so for thinking reasons or smart reasons, they pulled that off, and I think. Well,
how many kids now learn to stand up for themselves because Godzilla said that they needed to learn to stand up for themselves, right, Sludge? Did we freeze?
Not me, okay. I got to stand up from I remember
you learned that from Godzilla's Revenge. You learned that from Godzilla's Revenge. I know it.
Totally did not. I can tell you as a kid, the two things that I saw that stuck to me to stand up for myself. That was Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, the 74 film. When we've talked about that one. He just gets his freaking butt whooped, but he just still doesn't go down and ultimately wins. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was that, and then Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, was huge for me as a kid. You know what I mean? Like
I know what else was big for him as a kid. You ever watch The Goonies? What'd they call that? The Truffle Shuffle?
The Truffle Shuffle.
Oh, yeah. He could do it, and he was great at it. He was great. He even looked like the character.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I could totally rock the Truffle Shuffle back then. Like, I was really, really good. I did love the Goonies,
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I mean, these, as a kid, not Godzilla's Revenge, but, I mean, from the point that you're talking about, Mark, I mean, we looked at those.
He's absolutely right. Yeah, he's absolutely right.
Yeah, and to stand up for ourselves. And that's was definitely something that you see Gamera do in these films heavily. Ruben, I mean, what about you, man? What as far as this movie, anything you want to say before we move on to the next segment on our Stomp rating, for Gamera vs. Gyaos?
No, it's I enjoyed it. Did we already do the Stomp rating? Am I confused?
Yeah.
So, wrapping up the Stomp rating. Sorry. Yeah.
I just
want to make sure. There's anything else you want to say.
I would definitely say. This is something, like I said, it is more for kids, but I enjoyed it. I sat there and watched it and laughed out loud at some of the scenes, and I've certainly seen worse. Just put it that way. I've seen way worse. I've seen wild hogs going around, and all of a sudden, and that's supposed to be scary. So
damn, did he just put this over Razorback? Like, wow, dang.
Damn, he hit it.
That was hard. That was harsh.
I like how he moved that right in there, too, man. We were both unsuspecting on that.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. He is the Grand Master. I think we're starting to see what he's a Grand Master of, for sure. Those little drops. But yeah, I mean, so it's a great film to watch. It's very kid friendly. Depending on how much blood you like letting your kids see, but it is green and purple, like Ruben had said earlier.
Yeah, but I don't think it makes it. It's different when it's green. and purple.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I think it keeps it from an R rating. But
yeah,
it's worth a watch, man. For the Gamera show era, I mean, we've hit the three. What I will say, and then go ahead and forewarn, is the three pinnacles of the show era, and this one. When it comes to Monster Romp, has got some of the best battles, and if you want something that's more kid oriented for your kids to watch, this would be the one. This would be, like the Godzilla vs. Megalon, this would be the one to definitely get them started on. So
definitely.
We'll right on. Well, guys, I think it's been a minute, but it's time to test your might.
Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might.
All right, so this episode, our Test Your Might segment, is actually a special guest doing the Test Your Might, and they have been brought by none other than Kurt Harper. Charlie is away in Ohio with family, and so Kurt Harper, man, thank you. Because I came to him last minute, man. I was like, it was like today, like this afternoon. I'm like, hey, dude, can you do this? And he totally came through, man. He came up with some questions and sent them over to us. And I'm excited to see him because he sent them, but I definitely haven't even read the questions.
Did you get those questions, Ruben?
No,
I didn't get
How
no
many
questions.
questions are there?
Yeah,
How
I
many
didn't get no
questions are there,
questions.
Sludge?
We got 3 questions.
Oh, you got the questions.
Just like Charlie sends me the questions, Kurt sends the questions.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're not going down this one. So
How did he know there was 3 questions?
Yeah.
We have a brand new
Oh, yeah.
quiz master.
Exactly.
Brand new Alex.
what are you
Trebek,
talking
and
about?
He knew.
He's been listening to the show. He's a dedicated listener. He's a friend.
He
He
knows.
knows.
He
He
hasn't been
knows. He's done hard
He's
copy.
not the quiz. He's not the quiz master. He's a new quiz master now.
Okay.
Did Kurt
Yeah.
send you the answers?
I haven't even looked at the
Okay,
answers.
okay. He didn't see me.
I made sure.
Did Kurt
I
send
made
you
sure
the
we'll show
answers?
it. I wish there was a way I could show you the screen. I
Look,
told Kurt.
all I know.
Send them separate.
This is-
See, I told you,
this
Kurt.
is what
it's
I
going to
know.
happen, Kurt.
This is what I know. Kurt sided with Sludge.
Yes, he did.
I am
the fight.
sorry, Kurt. You have been
Yeah.
brought into the
Yeah.
to the Gamera conspiracy
No.
Wow.
for liking
Wow.
for simply liking the better film.
And I'm sure, you know what? I bet as soon as that happened, Kurt all of a sudden had money to go buy a new video game or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
We don't have bribery in this
Yeah,
budget.
yeah.
Trust me, we do not have bribery in this budget at all. So, but right on. So, Kurt, thank you so much for sending the questions, and we're going to jump into
Thanks.
it. And oh no, wait, I'm sorry. There's 4 questions.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, you did that one right.
That's right. I did forget about that he sent a 4th question. There it is. So, okay, here we go. He does say this is trivia time. It's a real man's sport about Gamera, a real man's turtle. I like how he worded that. That was pretty good. Way to go, Kurt, on
That's
that one.
exactly why he's got the questions because
See, that's why he's got the questions. Uh-huh.
So,
How
no.
How
Oh,
convenient.
All right, number 1. What was the original title of Gamera vs. Gyaos?
Oh, you gave us that.
Gamera Monster Dogfight, Gamera vs. Gyaos. B, Fight, 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 Air Battle, Gamera vs. Gyaos. Or C, Gamera vs. Gyaos, Super Giant Monster Battle. We need
Did
to
you say those again?
Yes. So A, Giant Monster Dogfight, Gamera vs. Gyaos. B, Fight, 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 Air Battle, Gamera vs. Gyaos. Or C, Gamera vs. Gyaos, Super Giant Monster Battle.
Okay. Got it.
All right, number 2. What is Gyaos' nickname? A, Night Flyer. B, Death from Above. Or C, Shadow of Evil.
Okay.
Number 3. Gyaos likes to chop off his own foot. How long does it take him to regrow his foot? A, 1 hour. B, overnight. Or C, after a big meal of blood.
Ooh, now that one. What was A again? 1 hour, right?
A is 1 hour. B is overnight. Or C, after a big meal of blood.
Okay.
Here's an easy one. This is question number 4. Gamera takes a sonic beam to the arm and gushes turtle blood. What color is his blood? A, bright arterial red. B, green. Or C, purple.
That's a freebie.
Yeah, it's a freebie. Thank you, Kurt, for the
Since-
freebie.
since we talked about it all-
Yeah,
the
a couple
whole
times. All right, so as we can see here, because we've already talked about beforehand, the email is bold. It has never been open. Okay,
Yeah.
borax seizing.
Yeah.
You see the bold.
Yeah. I see.
That was the second email. The first one was
Yeah.
red.
Oh
and
my gosh! There was one email. Okay, it's time for the answers. Let's go for the answers.
Here again. Here again. When he gets called out, do you see how he changes that?
Yeah, he just changed the subject.
He just shuts you down real quick.
Did not. So, all right.
So if Kurt wouldn't have voted for Gamera Friday, would he be making the questions up?
Well, yes, because I can count on Kurt.
I just checking.
I appreciate Kurt.
I just checking.
Jeez. All right.
Don't need to get defensive.
Oh yeah.
Just, I won't let them drag you down, Kurt.
Whoa,
I have you,
whoa.
Kurt.
You need to calm down there, Sludge.
All right. Here we go. Number 1. I got to flip back and forth here. What was the original title of Gamera versus Gyaos? Correct answer is A. Giant monster dogfight. Gamera versus Gyaos.
I did not have a clue.
I missed that one. That's a dumb title.
Yeah.
Number 2. What is Gyaos' nickname?
There's another one I don't.
The answer is C. Shadow of Evil.
Let me guess.
So how you doing on that?
Two for
how
two?
you doing on that?
I'm over. I'm over 2.
I'm 2 for 2.
well.
No, so, hey, I'm the Gamera fan. I'm the Gamera fan. That's the
Me and Mark were out of the loop and voted for some other monster.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
losing.
This is not your fault, Kurt. I promise. All right, number 3. Gyaos likes to chop off his own foot. How long does it take him to regrow it? The correct answer is, I gotta switch back in. A. 1 hour.
I did not know that either.
I got that one wrong.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
You got that one wrong.
I
remember when it was
wrong.
growing back, and I just couldn't remember if it was after he ate somebody or not. So I'm like, well, it grew back almost immediately.
Well, I was
thinking
right.
it was when he had blood. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I was honestly a little confused on that one because I was like, man, I'm trying to remember because some of these questions, like question 2, I'm almost thinking like they could have been geared like a Heisei question. Because I do mention that in the Heisei and Gamera Guardian Universe as well. So for this one, I was like, man, I'm trying to remember. Like in the movie, he fights Gamera, bites his foot off, and then like his foot's grown, while he's in the cave. And I'm like, so I'm guessing overnight because he didn't need a bucket of blood or anything. But I was like, oh wait, he does lose his leg or foot in Guardian Universe as well. How long did it take? So I was a little confused by that one. So I did get that one wrong. Not gonna lie, I'll be honest, I got that one wrong. All right. Number 4, I think, was a give me. What is the color of Gamera's blood? The correct one is, I don't even have to look at the answers, is B, green. So I got
that one.
Pick the movie, boys. I'll watch it. Whatever you
3.
want.
How many did you get wrong?
3.
How many did you get wrong, Ruben?
I got 2 wrong, 50%.
50%. Oh, so it is back to Mark.
Yeah. This is like a freaking replay when Charlie first started. Man, it just.
Kurt, this is not your fault. We appreciate the help.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Kurt.
welcome to the show. Because these two are now going to be anti-Kurt, apparently.
When you get done, you can send me a little bit of that money
Kurt
he's sending
signed
me.
his own. Kurt signed his own death sentence when he got sided with Gamera. I'm saying that's it for Kurt.
Stand strong, Kurt. Stand strong. I'm with you. That's all. I'm with you. So, all right.
Of course he is.
Let's see. So, last time I had to watch Son of Freaking Kong again.
I forgot about that.
So, Mark. Well, see, now Ruben picked that one. So I'm not going to retaliate against you, Mark.
No, I didn't. Did I pick something?
Ruben?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
You did, Ruben.
Did.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
no.
did. Yeah, he did. That was all him.
I don't think it was me.
Wait a minute. I have been your son for 38 years. I know when bullcrap hits your face.
Wait, what are you
and
talking
that right
about,
there,
man?
that look tells me that it is. No, Ruben, you did maybe watch it first, but yes, Mark, you maybe watch it again. That's right. So
unbelievable.
So I gotta pick a good one.
Where's Charlie? He needs to get back.
Well, I'm gonna pick a good one here for Mark. Off the list. Let me think. Well, I kind of screwed up with that Island of the Zuni Dolls movie, Attack of the Creatures. I made y'all watch. You're all like, "This was great." I'm like, "Crap, I didn't see that coming."
Yeah. We loved it. We loved it.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh man, I screwed up with that one." Okay, this one. Man, what? You know what? I know. Yes, I've decided. Gargantua.
Gargantua. I may have already seen it.
The 1998 made-for-TV film about the giant salamander. Ruben,
Mark, I'd watch War of the Gargantua by accident and go ahead and watch that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call.
No.
That's a good
Gargantua. It is on the Plex, so you are able to watch that movie.
It is.
Since you love kids being the main character, I couldn't think of a better movie than to watch Gargantua.
That came out in, what did you say, 98?
Was it 98?
Oh, yeah, when they released your favorite movie. I
don't
forgot.
think so.
Yeah.
No,
That's how you came up with that one. Yeah.
It was not.
Okay.
It was not. That just happened to be in the boom that happened at the time.
That was a banner year for Sludge.
Yeah, well, I would probably pick Gargantua over the 98 Godzilla movie. But yeah, that is it. Gargantua is the film you are watching.
With Adam Baldwin.
Yes, actually, I forgot Adam Baldwin is this one.
Yeah,
and it lets you remember why he's the worst of the three Baldwin actors.
Okay.
But,
Good.
You'll find out.
I will watch that.
Yeah, I can't wait to
I will probably hate it, but I'll watch it.
It's a little rough. So, all right, man. Well, thank you guys again so much. We are trucking through. We've gotten through the best part of the Gamera films for the show era, and it probably will get quite hilarious the next few films out because I don't know that we're not going to dog the rest of these like an MST3K episode because it's going to get pretty. I mean, well, Gamera's got more films on Mystery Science Theater 3000 than any other monster. Gamera. I'm sorry, Lorax said correct me. Gamera. So, but we've got some cool episodes coming up for you. The next episode this month, Ruben picked, the Grandmaster picked, the original Roger Corman Presents Piranha.
Yes.
Which is going to be
the original.
good
Looking
movie.
forward to that. I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh, dude, that's a great movie. So, Ruben, thank you for picking that one. Are you there or are you frozen?
Oh,
no.
Hold on. Just
Technical difficulties.
We have lost him.
We have lost Ruben.
Yeah, what'd you say? What'd you do?
What do you mean, what'd I do?
Yeah.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay, we got him. Yeah,
we got it. Yeah,
we love
You
it.
should have heard the things he said about you while you were
No. See, again, I ain't got there's no budget to be paying people off if we can't handle a little trying to reconnect on this. Okay, don't let them fool you. So, but yes, Ruben, if he missed it, he picked this next one, Piranha. Roger Corman Presents Piranha. That's going to be a good one. That's a Ruben pick, and I think we're all excited for that one. That is a very, very good one. And then the beginning of the next month, man, we kick off the next Gamera film with Gamera versus V-Ross. So we're going to see, crazy squid, alien ladies, balls like Zakk Wylde's guitar. It's just going to get nuts. Kids stealing, submarines. It's going to be quite interesting. So they should be fun the next time out. So again, guys, thank you all so much. Make sure go check out all of our friends and our brothers over at the other shows with the Give Me Back My Podcast Network. So, Give Me Back My Action Movies, Give Me Back My Horror Movies, Pete and his crew over at Good Beer Bad Movie Night. And, of course, go check out our Give Me Back Pro Wrestling shows because those are a ton of fun all the time. And then go, join us on the socials, man. Go to our Facebook group page. Join the group because 3 times a week we give you additional content. Monday nights we give you The Underdogs, which are movies that you may have missed because it kind of went underneath the radar that turned out to be pretty decent films. Wednesday night we give you, or Ruben gives you, the Monster Mash Wednesdays, and he picks music selections from some of the best artists and movies across the known universe to check out. That's all monster related in some way, somehow. And then Friday nights, it's The Underdogs, and that seems to be the big shining moment of the week. So, and then of course we're talking all the time to each other. I mean, we're posting things about movies, and we're posting up questions or putting funny memes, and it's a great, fun little community to be a part of. So go join us on Facebook or go follow us on Instagram. You find both of them at the Monster Movie Stompdown. And that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
Thanks, Kurt, for doing the trivia.
Yeah, definitely. They thank you now, Kurt. They
appreciate
you
stepping in, man. We do, and that helps a lot.
So, Ruben, you got anything?
Nope, I got nothing, but I do think there's some chicanery going on, Mark.
I do too. I'm with you.
I'm pretty sure.
That's why I just plugged my thank you. Maybe I could get some of it. I don't know. I doubt that it works because it didn't work with Charlie.
I'm sorry, Kurt. You got drugged down. I didn't mean it for it to happen, but we appreciate it so much. And
we do. All kidding aside, we appreciate it.
Yeah, big time. You came in and saved our butts, so thank you so much. And again, thank you all for listening. We do this for you just because we have fun, and we know that you guys enjoy it. And we'll see you next time. This is Sludge.
And the Lorax.
And you got Ruben in Texas.
There we go.
Did I lock up?
Y'all have a good night.